Novak, congratulations. Can you just talk to us about how the past couple of days have gone for you, how difficult it was to go on court, go off court, and yesterday's conditions in particular?
I remember early in my career I've played a match against Kiefer in Wimbledon for 5 days. That was the longest I've played one match. This is probably the second longest. Same reason, raining. You know, weather conditions are something you can't really affect if you don't have special abilities. Other than that, you have to wait and pray for good weather, and that's what we did. Yesterday, the match was interrupted 3 times, and of course it wasn't easy coming in the facilities here at 9 a.m. and leaving at 7:30 or 8 p.m. But it's not the first and probably not the last time I'm gonna have to face these particular circumstances. Not only for us players, but it was difficult for all the crowds that were coming in, paying tickets to watch the matches, and then they watch maybe an hour and then they go home. Or 2 days ago there was no matches at all, and the weather forecast is as far as I heard, is not that great for the coming days. So that's the reason why we should have the roof here. And I'm hoping we're gonna have it very soon.
Novak, a few of the women who played at the same time as you yesterday were saying they thought the conditions were not playable, that the play should have been stopped. Do you agree with that? And then also, you're in a part of the draw where we'd have to play 4 times in 5 days if it's still a Sunday final. So do you think that's too much to expect for a man to do over best of 5? Well,
conditions were definitely on the edge throughout the entire day yesterday. Bautista and I played, I think, more than 2 sets on the mist. So it was literally maybe 5 to 10 minutes of the entire stay of over 1.5 hours that we had yesterday on the court without rain. So it was practically raining throughout the entire play, which made it more difficult for our performances and focus and everything. But again, once you accept the circumstances and the decision is such that you play, then you have to go with it, and it's the same for you and your opponent. But it was a great test, mental test, for all of us, really, yesterday, the entire day. And so I'm in a way glad to have the match like this, because it's a challenge that you need to overcome mentally mostly. And regarding the scheduling, well, it's the way it is. Talked a little bit with the ATP representatives and people in the organization of the tournament, and there's not much, as I said, you can do about the weather. But for now, I'll just focus on my quarterfinals tomorrow that I'm supposed to play, and then we'll see what happens. Obviously. I wish I can play tomorrow at quarterfinals. Let's see if that happens, and then we'll take it from there.
Novak, you're a fairly experienced player now. What's your mental and psychological approach to all the delays, the courts? What are the kind of things that you're telling yourself when you're waiting around and having to adjust to these circumstances?
Well, in one way, the experience helps. Being in these particular situations before and knowing that there's not much you can do except to make sure that the attitude you have is positive and it's calm and serene and focused, and that's all. It's a lot of work to make that happen, considering the external influences, but it's something that comes along with the time and the effort that you put into making yourself mentally stronger.
With all the rain and circumstances and weight and all, but can you just evaluate maybe your level of play right now? Is it easy for you to find your timing? Do you feel you're playing your best tennis at the moment?
Oh, well, look, day to day changes as the weather conditions, and you have to adjust. I'm in the quarterfinals, and I dropped 1 set, so things are going the right way, of course I know that I can play better, and I have a couple more gears, and that excites me. Actually, it motivates me to work and get myself in that maximum speed, hopefully for next match, and then see where it takes me.
Novak, you're back into the business end of this tournament, into the quarterfinals. How much do you take what you've experienced in the past year and the mental approaches you've had to this part of the tournament and try to learn from that, or is there any sort of switching or changing your approach to these next 1, 2, hopefully 3 matches for you?
Well, there's nothing in particular majorly that I'm gonna switch or change, or comparing to the previous years in terms of preparations. It's more or less the same. Well, of course, this year we have a particular situation because of the weather, so I'm gonna try to get as much as rest as possible and not get distracted by too many things outside.
Yesterday, there were moments that it wasn't going easy, but you looked up. That was a nice moment, and you asked him for help. What did you ask him? Because it helped.
It's private. It's private.
Novak, a couple of the players yesterday were not happy to be on the court, and Bautista was just telling us that, in a way, the tournament pushed for you guys to play 2 hours. Do you think that the players should have more say if both players on the court feel it's dangerous for them to be on the court? Should they have more power over the decision?
It's a very delicate subject, It really depends on various things and conditions that you're kind of facing as a player or as a tournament organizer, and to take in consideration many different things from different perspectives. But priority should always be the health of players, no doubt. I've had situations before, plenty of situations before, where I thought that the courts were not good enough, for us to perform at such a high level, because it was quite dangerous on the edge for you to twist your ankle or, God forbid, something else. So I understand that the frustrations that some players are going through. I go through the same, but sometimes you just have to deal with it. Just have to deal with it and accept whatever the common decision is from everybody around. Of course, sometimes the tournament referees and the grounds people, they're trying to do their best to evaluate the condition of the court. Sometimes it does appear that maybe they don't, because they don't play, that they don't maybe to full extent understand what you go through with your movement and why is it so dangerous. So that's why for me it's in one way funny and unacceptable as well at the same time to have a chair umpire come in the elegant shoes and try to slide and check whether or not the lines are slippery. It's gonna be slippery anyway in those shoes. So I think it's always important, at least, that what they can do is wear tennis shoes and then check the conditions. So all these small details can actually help a lot in the judgment of the actual court.
Novak, just here. Hello. You played with Fabrice Santoro, with the ball kid, with the referee. Could you explain us how do that ideas come into your mind?
Well, as soon as I finish the match, I start to think what I'm gonna do for the next. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't. It just comes. Comes naturally. Comes naturally, and I like to do things with kids, especially. So I didn't know that Fabrice Santoro was dressed like that. It was obviously very well prepared in case it rains, and we just had a little joke about it. I think it cannot hurt. Joke cannot hurt anybody, and it's good to bring a little bit of a positive energy in these gray days.
No, just to follow up on the condition question. So have you ever played a match where you felt compelled to compete when you didn't really think it was safe to do so? And do you think a player has a right to refuse to play if the referee or the supervisor says it's okay to play?
Well, I did. I was more than one time in these particular situations where I felt that was as I said, the conditions were not going in the favor of the player, and it was too dangerous. But sometimes the other player would feel the same, and then we would stop the match. And if the other player doesn't feel the same for various reasons, maybe he just feels different, or he's in the lead, or he feels better, or just different reasons come to matter. And by the end of the day, it's supposed to be the decision of chair umpire and the supervisor and tournament referee. They all come and discuss that between themselves and us. But again, it's hard to say. I think it should be a decision of a group of people. Everybody. It shouldn't be just players saying, "Okay, I'm not going to play," and I go out from the court. It's not fair, I think, towards also the crowd and everything if the other player doesn't feel the same. So that's why it's always a conflict of interest, and it's important that you have some neutral sides that is there to kind of try to find a mutual understanding and solution that is the best for everybody.
Just to be clear, Novak, if it were to be a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so quarters on Thursday, semi on Friday, then a day off, final Sunday, would you have a problem with that, and what kind of a challenge would that be physically?
Well, that's an ideal scenario right there. But let's see. First of all, whether or not I can win my quarterfinals and put myself in a position to play semis and maybe finals. That's number one, and number two is whether we're gonna have rain or not. So it just really depends.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you and Serbian.